current state of blockchain in the UAE.
So, can I please welcome to the stage Irina Heaver, also known as the crypto lawyer, Vineet from Saqr Capital, Saeed from Sheesha Finance, Domenik from iBLOXX Proprietary Trading, and Serge from Centauri Digital Assets.
Hello, wonderful people. Welcome to the next panel. And we have such an amazing panel of amazing speakers. And I let each of them introduce very briefly. So we have it on record, the amazing lineup of speakers.
You want to start on me?
Please. You need to turn it on.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Wow, that's pretty loud. Yes, so my name is Serge Ajamian. I just moved to Dubai, actually. I'm the co-founder of Centauri Digital Assets Group, also the co-founder of JPEG Culture, which is an NFT media publication platform, advisor and investor in over 50 projects covering anywhere from layer 1 blockchains to layer 2 scaling solutions to metaverse and NFT projects and GameFi and whatnot.
Thank you so much, and welcome. Welcome to Dubai.
Hey, my name is Domenik. I'm the founder of iBLOXX. We are a market-making firm, algorithmic trading firm. We're also in the VC space and regulated investment funds. So we support our clients in anything from listing their tokens on decentralized exchanges, launchpads, centralized exchanges.
Hi guys, good morning. I'm Vineet. I'm the managing partner at Saqr Capital. I've been in Dubai for a long time, 18 years to be precise. In the crypto space, been around for from 2017, but actively investing as an institutional investor for the last 2 years.
Hi, Saeed again.
Hello again. Saeed Darmaki, founder of Sheesha Finance. I've been in the blockchain and crypto space for 5 years, mainly angel investing and advising a lot of projects, probably over 100 projects over the last 5 years. I also co-founded Alphabet Crypto Fund 5 years ago. I was head of the MENA region for Casper Labs, which is a layer 1 blockchain, special advisor at the moment to that project. And I've been advising a lot of projects and investing a lot, and happy to share my experience and thoughts with you guys today.
So Dubai is becoming a hub for crypto projects and blockchain projects. And there's so much initiative going on, and there's so many activities. We are watching funds being created, over $100 million. We are watching, projects moving here from all over the world to set up here. You just moved, so maybe from your point of view, would be quite an interesting perspective. From your point of view, why Dubai? Why are you here?
Thank you so much. I guess at 37, I came to the realization of two things. One, I should never wear skinny jeans again at my age. And two, I've also come to the realization that the UAE is truly becoming the global capital of crypto. So I spent around 16 years in Asia, specifically China, Shanghai. And we decided that given the regulatory environment in China and the tech crackdown and the crackdown on blockchain, and crypto and virtual assets, we figured that Dubai will be the best place in the world, even beating Singapore and other cities around the world. So we're now fully and full-time headquartered in Dubai for various reasons, obviously, that I can share with you later.
We'll share now. I
Yeah,
mean, we
sure.
are here. we gathered here. You can share now.
The regulatory framework being established, which is more accessible to investors, more access to innovation, more access to subsidies, and a lot of government support. So I think that's, I really must applaud the UAE government for the amazing support that they're giving this industry. So I think that's one of the major reasons why we're here at the moment.
Fantastic. And what would be your take? You're clearly not from the UAE, not UAE native. So what is your take? Why are you here? Why UAE? And what are the developments that excite you most?
Multiple reasons. I would say from a entrepreneurial perspective, and moving here from one crypto hub, Switzerland, Crypto Valley, to Dubai, It's multiple benefits that you actually see. One is, I mean, the corporate structure, taxes. You mentioned regulation, which stepped in, a supportive government. All of that is ultra helpful, of course, to set up a company here and to get the ball rolling, basically. But in addition to that, it's really access to talent, right? I mean, the UAE is a very unique place first where you are able to hire enough talent that you're like looking for. I can give you examples. I mean, if you're like posting a job ad in Switzerland or in Liechtenstein, and you probably get like 8 responses in 24 hours. Here, one job ad, 1,000 applications in one day.
What about the quality of the applicants? Do you see the quality? Because you can have 8 most amazing applicants, and you can have 1,000 that are completely irrelevant.
It's a very good question, but I would say there's very talented people here, and even if, let's say, you wouldn't find the talent that you need, you can relocate them, right? In Europe, this is not so easy. If you're hiring in Switzerland or in Liechtenstein someone outside of the European Union citizenship, that's not so easy to relocate. And here in the UAE, you can basically bring in anyone, right? And so access to talent was a huge decision maker driver with us moving here. But apart from that, it's regulation, it's the ecosystem that is growing immensely, amongst other things.
So Vineet, you've been here 18 years, you said, and you're still here, and you're now managing partner of $100 million blockchain and crypto fund. So clearly you see some, good potential, and you gave an amazing keynote talking about that. But can you summarize in a couple of minutes why UAE and why now?
I didn't get the question.
Why UAE and why now?
Okay, so for why UAE, in fact, I'm reminded of my MBA course where, they said what makes a market leader. A market leader is someone who either is a cost controller, that means he's the lowest cost producer, or someone who innovates. Now, when we look at doing something low cost, we talk about doing China, where everything is done at a lower cost, and they are market leaders in the world economy. But when it comes to innovation, Dubai, specifically UAE, has been a real innovator. They don't, when you look at the 80s when the duty-free Marlboro bags were taken around, when you look at 90s when the real estate came up, when you look at now, when the world has been going through COVID, lockdowns, UAE has innovated again and gotten blockchain around. They have opened up regulations, they have gone out and invited a lot of people. So for me, this is what separates UAE from everywhere else. They innovate and they don't take time to build up on that. When I look at my own country, which is India, the crypto regulation has been going on for 2 years and still there's no lead to it. While when we look at UAE, the decisions are taken faster, ecosystems are being built, and it's a place where, a startup, a blockchain startup from a new age economy has to be there. So that is why I think UAE is the place to be. And again, it has access to everything. People are, quality people exist in less than 2.5, 3 hours flights from here. The quality of life is great. So, it has everything that can make it the Silicon Valley of blockchain in this region.
Saeed, you call yourself Crypto Sheikh. And when it comes to the local talent representing the local community, you're one of the OGs, you're leading, you have your amazing community, Telegram groups, WhatsApp chats. So if anybody wants to know what's going on in the UAE, you are the first point of contact. And you've been leading for a while already. And I'm sure it warms your heart as much as it warms mine, because back in 2015, there'll be one person at the crypto event. Now we're at a crypto event in Dubai and over 10,000 people are coming. I'm sure that warms your heart and that makes you, very proud of your homeland, because UAE achieved that through entrepreneurship support, through positive support, through making it comfortable and welcoming for the talent to move. But us foreigners being here, being very welcomed, you as a local person, it's your home. What's your view? What UAE is doing right in comparison with other jurisdictions? Because you travel a lot, you see a lot. What UAE is doing specifically right to achieve that?
Yeah, great question. Thanks for the kind words, Irina. I think the UAE is very much at the forefront of embracing innovation, embracing emerging technologies. the leadership has been shown to be visionary from day one, from when the UAE was established. The ruling families have been very visionary. When they set their mind on something, they just go out there and do it. And there's not much red tape in the government. But I think the ecosystem that's being built right now and the infrastructure is there to see. And it's great to see how much we've evolved and moved forward. For sure, I'm very proud to be from here, and I'm very welcoming of all foreigners and all people that want to set up here and do business here and contribute to the UAE economy. I think everything that I do in this industry is with the UAE at mind. I don't think about my personal wants or what I need personally. I first think about what the UAE needs, and it needs as much talent and as much innovation and as much business and commercial activities happening here to promote the economy. And I think we're behind the developed economies in the world, but technology is an enabler and an accelerator. So I think with the use of blockchain technology and other emerging technologies, that's going to close the gap. And I think, just being open and open-minded to people that are coming here and, embracing their cultures and their traditions and being very open for it and providing for all different cultures and nationalities here is something that's unique to Dubai. I don't think there's anywhere else in the world where you'll find as many nationalities in one place. So all of these combinations make me very, very proud to be from the UAE and very happy to see so many people coming to the UAE, whether it's to visit or to do business. But I think most people that have moved here actually came here as a visit for the first time. And then when they saw how things are on the ground, that got them excited and encouraged them to actually move permanently.
And I think that's a great point. So many of people came here for a visit or came here on a 1-year contract like myself. And it was 14 years ago, and guess what? It ain't gonna change. So, of course, we are all very pro UAE and very positive, but let's be honest, we cannot have rose glasses on, right? There are issues and there are challenges like anywhere in the world. So from your point of view, you just moved here. We're talking about from the business, the crypto blockchain and the developments. What do you see are the challenges that we still need to work on? Because, not everything is 100% perfect. It never is. But what can we do? Or where do you see some shortcomings?
Thank you for your question. And Saeed, I totally resonate with what you said. And in fact, I just want, before I answer the question, the moment I landed in the UAE, my partners told me, welcome home. And UAE is truly, within the 10 days I've been here, truly I feel home. Thank you so much. So you say challenges, but maybe I could have another perspective to the word challenges.
Sure.
Allow me to call it opportunities.
That's a very good framing. There's always opportunity and challenges.
What one may see as a challenge, I would see also, another would see an opportunity. Particularly what we noticed, so we visited Comic-Con just the day I landed actually. And part of my research process was really engaging with the locals in the UAE. Not the expat community, but more the locals. And in fact, we started asking them questions. They were mostly digital artists there. So we started asking them questions. Do you know what NFTs are? Do you know what, do you know how to mint an NFT? Do you know, what layer 2 Polygon is? And 95%, and to my astonishment, 95% of the respondents said, no, I don't know what an NFT is. And the 5% this is at Comic-Con, guys. And I thought that 100% would know about NFTs. So,
but why would be to your astonishment less than 3% are in crypto, and less than maybe 5% of the 3% are in NFTs? I think it's almost like
my astonishment was because I was at Comic-Con, and my conception was that people at Comic-Con who are digital artists by trade or by hobby are not on the blockchain yet. So that's where we thought where the opportunity lies in the UAE is to really tap not just into the expats that are flowing into the UAE, but I feel that there's an untapped resource within the local UAE talent, and there's just waiting to absolutely explode. So part of our endeavors is to, as Centauri Capital, is to really tap into that UAE local talent. So challenge, opportunity, two sides of the same coin.
Fantastic. So the challenge is, let me just translate it as a lawyer. So the challenge is low adoption and low knowledge. And you want to transfer that into the opportunity.
Correct.
Fantastic. That's a very valid point. Less than 3% of the world's population is in crypto. So very logical and makes a lot of sense. What about you? What do you think? You know, you come from the Swiss crypto valley, and we've branded ourselves as the best crypto valley in the world. So what challenge, or what can UAE, for example, adopt, right? Because we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We can borrow and adopt the best practices and the opportunities.
I think it's not just specific to the UAE, but in general for the crypto market and the crypto ecosystem. It's how do you find balance between regulation and fostering innovation, right? I mean, I think this is one of the core themes in crypto in general, making sure that regulation is in place to protect the clients, to protect the customers, to protect also the issuers and the people that run crypto companies and blockchain companies, but you know, without limiting them, right? That's, I think, one of the challenges that is worldwide, global. And with the UAE being recently put on the FATF grey list, I think they're strongly going to emphasize on parts of that part of the regulation. So I think that's one of the key aspects, not necessarily only specific to the UAE, but in general.
That is true, and it's very challenging. Every jurisdiction all over the world is taking their own steps in either regulating, banning, or unregulating the industry. So it's a complete, you know, a bit of a mess. But I'm sure we'll get there, because regulations and law is normally 10 to 15 years behind the technological progress. So it's normal. We'll get there eventually. Vineet, you are an entrepreneur yourself. You build startups yourself. So as a startup, or as a former founder, your challenges and your understandings of the environment would be slightly different than from those who never started a company, who never tried to raise funds, who never tried to, you know, hustle their way. From the entrepreneurial support point of view, what can be improved, or what challenges can you see? Because it's very important to have a vibrant ecosystem. It's very important to have as much support for entrepreneurs as possible, as you say yourself all the time.
So, you know, from a generic startup perspective, I think the biggest challenge is, you know, in any industry, not just startup industry, out of 100 people that you meet, 95% are not legit. It's just the 5% people who really can help you, support you, while everyone else is just there to waste your time. So the whole challenge is about finding the right set of people. So, you know, yes, there are different people who are trying to do things that can better it up. Like, for example, when you talk about Crypto Valley, you know, they have an ecosystem in place which can get you to the right set of advisors, can get you to the right set of investors. But again, how many people land up over there and how many use those opportunities is critical. Other than that, one of the challenges is that, you know, at the top, the vision is clear that, you know, we are going to make this a startup and a crypto ecosystem, global player in crypto system. But when it comes to down there, you know, when it comes to the real operational thing of opening up a bank account, are banks that forward thinking of giving these things out is still a concern to me. And this is not just banking, but this is about having the infrastructure as well. So there are these certain lags that are there, but I think they will be overcome. Now the second part is in the crypto part of it. You know, education plays a big role in building up an ecosystem. You know, still I think when we say 300 million people are there in the crypto ecosystem having a wallet, I clearly think that out of this 90% are speculators who sit in the morning and see what is the price of Bitcoin today. Well, there's just 5% or 10% people who really see the use cases. They understand. Like, I was at a conference and we were talking about DeFi. And I asked the people that how many of you have used a lending and borrowing platform like Aave to actually take a collateral? And there were just 3 hands raised out of over 100 people. So education of what is the use case still remains. So I think these challenges exist globally, and we're getting there. I think I'm pretty sure by 2030 crypto will be widely adopted and these challenges will be overcome.
Saeed, we know you are the local spokesperson for the crypto industry and for the UAE, but let's for a second put another hat on. What would you do to improve? What would you do to make things better? What would you do to make that ecosystem more thriving? If you had the carte blanche from His Highness to do whatever you want.
Great question. I think the first thing that I would like to see is the central bank of the UAE actually going out there and telling the local banks that it's okay to service crypto companies that are starting up especially. But I think in the UAE it's been an issue with SMEs in general across all industries with local banks and getting bank accounts for an SME that you've started up. So I would really like to see the Central Bank of the UAE playing a more proactive role in engaging with local banks to support crypto companies, not just crypto companies, but any kind of startups in the UAE. Another thing that would be great to see is, I know that there are 1 or 2 universities that are kind of educating people about blockchain technology, but it'd be great to see it in the grassroots with schools, maybe even if it's secondary schools, at least to teach them about blockchain and have sessions and coaching sessions where people can participate and engage with experts in the field to get a better understanding of blockchain technology. I am advising a project called Crypto Arabs, as to what you said about the local population not knowing about what an NFT is or how to mint an NFT. Those kind of questions will be addressed by this project because they're putting out master classes for teaching general people about how to use blockchain technology and all the different use cases with blockchain technology. Those are the 2 main kind of areas that I think.
And those are the great points, right? Education, like you mentioned, that leads to adoption, like Vineet mentioned, and also positive regulation and the support by central banks, so the banks can actually bank crypto and blockchain companies. But that's a problem in basically any industry, right? AI, same. It needs to be more and more education, which leads to adoption, etc., etc. So you just landed in the UAE. For those who are watching us, for those who are packing their bags to move to Dubai, give 3 top tips how to land here. It's obvious, take the Emirates airline, but how to establish here very, very quickly and hit the ground running. 3 top tips for every entrepreneur arriving to set up in our blockchain and crypto ecosystem.
Yeah, I think my first top tip would be really think, if you're in a new environment and in a new country, your first reaction to anything when you wake up in the morning is think, how am I going to add value in other people's lives first, rather than, hey, what can I get from the UAE? It shouldn't be that way. So I think as a first step, build your networks by being as kind as you can, as giving as you can.
So ask not what UAE can do for you, but what can you do for UAE?
For the UAE and others living in the UAE.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I think that would be my priceless advice to you. Another one is I would say, don't be, understand the culture. I think that's very important. I mean, coming from China and living in China for 15 years, it's always important before you get into business with the Chinese, let's say, learn their culture nuances. Yeah.
Culture, be kind to people and do things for people. And the third one?
I'll leave the third one to my colleague next door.
No, everybody has to give 3. So okay, you get to get 4 now.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Accumulate.
All right. Well, I think one important point when you relocate to a different country and for business purposes, obviously do your research, right? Find out who are the local players in the field that maybe you can reach out for partnerships. The Crypto Oasis guys are growing massively, right? And they're really super helpful and supportive. So I think that's one of the most important points. Afterwards, like you mentioned, try to help, try to solve problems. I think in this area is where you can make a difference.
So grow your network. That's what I heard. Vineet.
So my first advice to entrepreneurs is be an entrepreneur. You know, life became bad as soon as you resign from your job. So you're not here to, you find out ways to do things. Just be an entrepreneur. The second thing that I would like to advise is meet people and build relationships. Out of 100 people, 95 are crap. 5 are the real ones. Me sitting in an office on Sheikh Zayed Road exactly 1.5 years back with Bijan landed up me becoming a partner to a $100 million fund. But that doesn't mean I just met Bijan. I met 1,000+ people during the COVID times. The third is, keep innovating and keep growing. It's all about evolving yourself as a person. Don't focus on money, focus on building something valuable. Money will automatically come.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? The 5 people, the coolest 5 people out of 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yes. Okay. So
count me out, 4 only. One more missing.
Okay, fantastic. Saeed, your 3 points, or your top points.
We've covered a lot of points. I'll just maybe mention one.
Yes, please.
Is that okay? I think the best advice I would give is if you're new to somewhere, is actually go out there and find people that have gone through the experience of setting up and coming here and establishing their business, and find out what they actually experienced firsthand. Ask them all the questions you need to ask, because I think it's more important to actually find out things from somebody who's experienced it and gone through the mistakes and the lessons learned than it is to actually do it yourself. You can go out there and kind of trial and error and find your way, but it's probably going to be much more quicker and less painful for you to actually approach people that have gone through the same journey that you're about to go on to.
Those were very great points. Thank you very much for this. And also networking, of course, come to the events like this, meet OGs like this, and catch up for coffee and grow your network and learn, educate yourself. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for participating.
Thank you.